Just so you know, Bink and I are already watching. I'm a bit haunted because apparently this has been running for 10 minutes, according to this meter here, and in fact already ran for an hour, 7 minutes and 36 seconds, which is impossible. And yet, I'll try to write that. Greetings, everyone. I am Director Arketer of BUCKO Labs, which is typically the case, and always, except for one time, in the case on this particular show. I am live with a rat who's being absolutely charming and is remembering to keep their head facing the correct direction. Greetings in chat to Exodus, who's provided the game we'll be raffling off this evening, which will be a classic survival horror point-and-click type adventure. I think you'll all enjoy it, or whoever wins it will, anyway. No one does, I might go ahead and claim it myself. Certainly it's been enough of a difficulty to get it up for offer. That was because, you know, technical difficulties. Entirely of my own creation. Exodus knows the story, suffice to say. It was sent to me with an email gift, and then I accepted it, and then I deleted the email, and then I forgot that I accepted it, and then I clicked the link to get the email, and the email said it had already been claimed. But I'd forgotten that I already claimed it. In any case, we're done with that now, and we're raffling off Tormented Souls. Thank you again for your generosity, Exodus. Greetings further in chat to SCP-1728, Nexus Hunter, K. Scholl, JR, and Brigand, who, some time ago now, enabled me to get this awesome mug that I'm drinking from at this very moment. If by some implausible chance you are new to the stream, why not let me know? But, you know, it would be, well, I'll probably tip off the fact that it'll be grey text, because I handed out wrenches like candy. And I would like to thank all of you who have given wrenches for not making me regret that. No one's made me regret giving out wrenches, and I appreciate it, because I've handed them out to a lot of trollish individuals. You know who you are. And, well, I'm glad it hasn't been a problem. Because then I have to undo it. Cute rat reminds me of one of my first two. Yeah, the hooded rat variety coloration is very common, and it's fascinating because for the longest time, one might have thought that hooded rat was a species unto itself, but no, not really. This gent is one of 3 brothers. His brothers look nothing like him in coloration, besides the fact that they too are monochromatic. This wasn't by design, but certainly it fits my character. Anyhow, we're going to get straight into a weird, vaguely spooky SCP, which I had the liberty of having a markup made of. I don't really know why, but it's harmless. It's not going to get butter on me, nor stab me, so it's fine. Curiously, the SP itself does not have a related image, which seems a bit of a shame. Strictly speaking, now, more than ever, it should be a breeze to append an image to every single SP file in existence. And unlike the fan art they could use, but don't, probably because then someone might claim ownership over it, they could present artwork that no one has any claim over. Like the one I made here, can be very limitedly, tangentially claimed to be my work. And it is in part. I had to make some alterations. But I don't think I'm going to be trying to claim... No, not self-modeled in the slightest. Notably, I'm alone this time. All by myself. But if you are having access to the Volunteer Reserve server and you meet the very bare requirements, you could go to the Green Room and I'll... Oh no, never mind. I'm just going to do this one solo anyway. Screw it. I'm so committed to that now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave live with the director. No one's plausibly in or going to be in Green Room anyway. Okay, where were we? Oh, right. No, if I receive any injuries over the course of this stream, it will be primarily to my pride. Oh, to note, I still haven't installed the confetti launchers, so if we get up to 13 likes, which is one of the things I consider this to be a successful stream by, I'm just going to have to show my feet or something instead. Ostensibly, but maybe not actually. Probably not actually, really. There's no reason you would expect that, or should expect that. Moving on. SCP-1728. Object class, safe. Which, of course, is wrong! It is not safe! It is Euclid, you fools! The mysterious butchered butter brigand. Special attempt procedures. SCP-1728 is to be bound with wound polyurethane fibers to a steel table 1 meter by 2 meters in area. The table is to be contained within a sealed refrigeration unit, which is kept at a constant 0 degrees Celsius. Standard temperature monitoring applies. Communication with SCP-1728 is to be conducted by one researcher at a time inside the refrigeration unit, with the temperature raised to 10 degrees centigrade and one of SCP-1728's arms unrestrained. The door must be sealed before communication begins and unsealed only after the restraints have been replaced. SCP-1728-1 is to be kept in a polyurethane-lined box measuring 30 cm by 10 cm by 5 cm and stored in anomalous weapons containment. SCP-1728 is not being made aware of SCP-1728-1's location. With me so far? No jazz hands. Rat treats come after the show. And are contingent upon someone remembering to keep their head forward. We've been over this. Description. SCP-1728 is a humanoid entity 1.5 meters in height and 57 kilograms in weight. While otherwise human in form, the entity lacks a head. Its neck ends in a cauterized stump approximately halfway through the larynx. Despite this, the entity is capable of functioning with normal human-like capacity and has no apparent sensory, motor, or metabolic difficulties. It cannot speak, but it is capable of writing. Subject has a grasp of the English language similar to that of a child of between 8 and 10 years of age, and intelligence shows likewise. SCP-1728 continuously exudes a substance chemically identical to unsalted dairy butter. And you'll note we're touching on this despite the fact that it's butter related, it's way too close to cheese, and thus way too close to milk. The butter has no anomalous properties when separated from the entity. Instead of fingernails, SCP-1728 has hollow points of bone that protrude from the ends of its fingers. It can channel butter through these bones to use them as pens or low-pressure jets. SCP-1728's only article of clothing is a pair of short burlap pants strapped over its shoulders with suspenders made of twine. Any other clothing slides off its body or becomes so damp as to be effectively useless. SCP-17281 is a 22 cm long steel knife with a handle made of cast iron. SCP-1728 cannot easily hold on to any item other than SCP-1728-1. SCP-1728 actively resists containment. The entity is capable of slipping out of most forms of restraint and will attempt to escape given any chance. It uses the butter it exudes to its advantage, sliding across nearly any surface at speeds of up to 34 kilometers per hour and leaving tracks of butter behind it. Its current goal appears to be to retrieve SCP-1728-1 from containment. SCP-1728 is difficult to hold onto or stop from moving. However, sufficient heat loss can cause it to mostly solidify, preventing escape. Additionally, polyurethane has been shown to be capable of restraining it. Greetings, your boy Pat. Notably, you're on the green list of potential guests. Just let me know if you ever want to do that. That's a very good question, Marcin Johansson. How did they measure the speed of this particular SCP? There are no real testing logs. Not that I'm bothered by the fact of not having a red link that could lead to 3 pages worth of material. But presumably they must have done some testing. Also, did they do any testing with D-Class as to whether or not the butter exudes is safe to eat? Because I'm kind of weirdly curious about that. And it sounds like something the Foundation would have tested. I mean, what if this thing's infectious? What if the seemingly non-anomalous butter, if eaten, turns someone else into a butter brigand? There could be a butter brigand epidemic. Suffice to say, this is definitely not object class safe. It's Euclid. Minimum. And if it is truly stabby, possibly a bit worse. Let's see. They probably set up slip inside. You know, Marcin Johansson, I really wish they had done that and had kept a better record of it if they had. Slip inside to a fake wall. Look, we already established this thing's stupid enough to have done that. I mean, basically a cartoon character. Moving on. Yes, they've done tests on the butter, and they say the butter appears to be non-anomalous due to those tests, but they didn't say they fed the butter to a D-Class. Well, look, there's a very good chance that if D-Class eats the butter, then nothing will happen to them. But what if? What if? I do note something else that bugs me so far is that they say it can only wear the burlap jeans and twine suspenders. That's a little too much control over the writing here. There's absolutely no reason why it could only wear the burlap pants and the twine suspenders, especially when they know that polyurethane will hold fairly well. Furthermore, what do they mean it gets too soggy to be of use? They keep it frozen most of the time. What the hell? In any case. We have an interview log, but we have no other readers. So I must do all the voices, if I'm going to do voices at all, which I'd rather not. But I'll consider it. Interviewed, SCP-1728. Interviewer, Dr. Tane. Forward. In the following interview, SCP-1728 was asked questions verbally and allowed enough freedom of movement with one arm to write its answers on black paper. You know, using its bone fingers and fodder. All answers are transcribed verbatim. Interview took place in SCP-1728's containment chamber, and bear with me, this is going to be pretty damn silly. Dr. Tane.
SCP-1728, can you hear me?
9 seconds lapse.
Yes, sir, just fine. I'm Dr. Tane, SCP-1728. Do you know why you're here?
15 seconds elapses.
'Cause I stabbed a lady?
The Foundation recovered you in the redacted Forbidden Forest. You were inside a tree. 28 seconds elapse.
She wouldn't give up her bag. Her horse was mad. And this led you to being inside the tree.
12 seconds elapse.
I had to support me mummy.
SCP-1728, are you aware of your condition? 11 seconds lapse.
What condition?
Well, you don't have...
Oh, I got no hair and I'm all slippery. Yeah, that.
How long have you been like that? 35 seconds elapse.
Sometimes ladies don't like getting stabbed. Sometimes ladies are angry wits.
SCP-1728 pauses briefly as they're reviewing the sentence, then continues. 19 seconds elapse.
If milkmaid's son, I turn to booter.
Thank you, SCP-1728. That will be all. SCP-1728 begins running quickly.
When can I have my knife back? I want my knife, it's mine.
Not now, SCP-1728. SCP-1728 struggles in its restraints. Its other arm begins to slide out. Dr. Tane calling the observing staff,
Chill it.
In log closing statement, the refrigerator system was turned back on. SCP-1728 solidified shortly afterwards and was manually molded back into its restraints, which is kind of a stupid way to phrase it. But moving on. A sloth of an SCP conversation. Yes! Good thing I'm not so dedicated to authenticity I'm willing to wait all of those seconds. We'd be most of the way done already. With the show, that is. Greetings in chat to Lincoln DMZ. Just if one is inclined to pop as a guest on the show, or what Pat, just throwing that out there, you would be doing that by joining the Discord channel's green room, and I could drag you in. Also rejoin Live with the Director. No big deal. We are at the end of the first SCP. We're going to talk about this one for a bit, and while I ponder the mysteries of the Butchered Butter Brigand, I would encourage you all to think of your favorite, ideally Halloween-related, or at the very least mildly spooky-related SCPs. Well, you say it's not very interesting, Martin Johansson, but I think it's rather interesting. Quite frankly, it would seem that, first off, this Butter Brigand, well, they clearly stabbed a witch, or otherwise pissed off a witch. At the same time, though, it seems pretty evident that they had to be the son of a witch. Yes, SCP-1728 was a son of a witch, who stabbed the wrong witch and then found himself apparently put into a tree, which was then possibly shot into another reality. Possibly. We have an SCP request from K-Shell, SCP-4443. We'll move on to that in just a second. I would like you all to note, though, that we are having, once again, a raffle. A raffle. Oh yeah, no, the history isn't there. We just can deduce that 1728 was not any normal guy, and that his mom was probably something more than a milkmaid, and that furthermore, whatever he pissed off was pretty freaking magical in its own right. I suppose, fortunately for him, he's too stupid to grasp existential misery, so big plus for 1728, who once again is not a safe object. Safe objects do not move on their own. They require no special refrigeration. You put them on a shelf, they do nothing. They only do anything if you touch it or use it. Then it might do any number of things, from comb your hair to cause your eyeballs to shoot out your asshole. Either way, though, when it's on the shelf, it does nothing. That's what makes it safe. Euclid means it moves around on its own and has its own agenda. There's a clear animating intelligence to it. Why do they add more classifications like that? Okay, sorry. I have digressed rather badly. We're up to 6 likes with 12 viewers, which means that it's not necessarily possible we could get to 13 this time. But my preparations may go for naught. Well, in any case, here's the game we're raffling off. Was a dead girl, seemingly, but they're not dead. Apparently, that's the protagonist. Or are they? It's not just coming 2021, it came 2021. A bit of gameplay for you here, you know. Gently and slowly confronting some flesh horrors. Pretty classic point and click. Your emotional support, as always. It's appreciated. So was that inspired by the flashpoint from Killing Floor? Or did it inspire the flashpoint from Killing Floor? Well, in any case, Nexus Hunter is in the raffle. And we have 2 requests now, 4443 and 798. Let me just take a quick moment to note that Nexus Hunter has joined the raffle. Ideally, if you would, in the chat, tag me to inform me that you are in the raffle, that would be appreciated. But it's not, strictly speaking, necessary. So long as you're aware, that I'm aware, that you have entered the raffle. And indeed, it has some very classic Silent Hill vibes. That's by design. It was an effort, as I understand it, to go back to the classic point-and-click survival type-ish tank control thing. So, Nexus Hunter in the raffle. If you have access to me on the Volunteer Reserve Discord server, or Twitter, or by some means I can send you the key to Steam, please do join in, and I will send you the Steam key, if you win. Nexus Hunter has won several games, so, you know, the competition is certainly going to be well appreciated. Loading. Okay, 443 and 798. First, 4443. This shouldn't take long to find things. 4443. Bink. Item SCP-4443, object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-4443 is to be contained in a standard containment locker. Security personnel are to be stationed within all rooms directly adjacent to the testing chamber of SCP-4443. Rooms are to be supplied with equipment under the guidelines given under document 4443-4. Update. Following the events of Test 4443-31, security personnel are to be stationed in the chamber during testing. Description. SCP-4443 is a plain white sheet measuring 180 by 150 centimeters. 2 circular patches of black polyester have been stitched into it side to side, giving the appearance of a generic sheet ghost Halloween costume. Anomalous properties manifest only when worn. When worn by a subject, SCP-4443 is resistant to the effects of air currents and will only move when manipulated by the wearer or other physical forces. Wearers are capable of phasing directly through solid surfaces. Along with SCP-4443, subjects do not need to be fully covered for anomalous qualities to manifest. Tests have shown that effects activate while approximately 50% of the subject's body is covered by SCP-4443. SCP-4443 may be removed by the wearer or another person directly attempting to do so. Additionally, those wearing SCP-4443 are capable of slow, upwards levitation. This effect only activates while the wearer vocalizes a sound similar to a typical noise associated with ghosts. Levitation will cease when the wearer stops vocalizing, wherein they will slowly float back downwards. Discovery log. SCP-4443 was initially discovered following the unusual circumstances surrounding the death of Craig Ferguson, who had reportedly fallen from the second story of his home in California, Wisconsin, United States. The parents of Craig and several outside witnesses claimed to have watched him phase through the house's second-story wall while wearing SCP-4443. Amnestics were issued and upon confirming its anomalous properties, SCP-4443 was cured. At no point was it confirmed whether SCP-4443 had been made by Craig Ferguson or was found. We have a considerable testing log, but it's entirely within tolerances. Quick check to see if we have any other entries into the raffle. No. But we're up to 7 likes and 15 concurrent viewers. New viewers, please do be sure to know. Make a point of being aware we're raffling off a game called Tormented Souls. Just tag me in the chat if you could enter it. Hopefully you can use Steam, Discord, or the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, which really should have changed its name. One of many really bad decisions that... Never mind. What's the rate of ascent or descent when making a ghost noise or starting from controlled height? That's a very good question. And furthermore, if you can't levitate, then how did he fall from the second story? I guess isn't sufficient to activate levitation. I was thinking whether or not that would be a good idea for him to have had like a harness holding it onto himself. However, if levitation, the phasing effect, held with a downward momentum, then he would have just been screaming his way to the center of the earth. Or maybe he would have gotten his wits about him and just gone ooh until he was back up to ground level. In any case, Craig was not bright enough to survive, sadly. They don't bother to say whether or not Craig was an adult or a child. For the sake of keeping this a relatively happy show, we're going to just guess he was adult who was a bit daft. We're up to 9 likes, I understand it. Thank you for that update. If we get high enough likes, I'll make this even more awkward. This will be ooh, not yeah, close, but no cigar, as tragically demonstrated by the late Craig. Test 4443004, subject D-Class 4856. D-Class was told to vocalize woo for several seconds. Results: D4856 levitates several centimeters above ground for the remainder of the vocalization before dropping back down. Test number 6. Subject: a D-Class. The D-Class was instructed to vocalize whoa for as long as they can. Results: the D-Class levitates through the test chamber ceiling and into the room above, which had been prepared for just such a result, and a surprising amount of forethought on the Foundation's part. D4856 was then instructed to cease wooing. Test number 9. Same D-Class, which is probably a mistake. The D-Class is asked to lower themselves to the floor and lie down. The covered section of D4856 immediately phases through the floor, followed by their legs. While initially arriving in the room below, D4856 phases through the waiting safety mat and then through the floor below it. D4856 continues following through several floors below until data redacted. Before beginning the test, the D-Class reported hearing faint noises from an unknown source after putting on SCP-4443. That is the end of SCP-4856. And if the Foundation has done the job right, absolutely no one will miss them. And no, the butter figure in the back is not wearing tassels, although in hindsight that would have been an excellent idea, because I'm a bit bothered by butter nipples behind me. It's just disturbing. That was a mistake. Next test is Test 15, utilizing a different D-Class, 4839. 4839 is instructed to vocalize woo at a louder volume. D4839 rises upwards with drastically more momentum. D4839 then floats back down as normal. Test 24, using the same D-Class, which is a terrible idea. The D-Class is told to run through several propped-up walls while vocalizing an ooh. D-4839 phases through several walls before gradually floating upwards, continuing to float forwards. D-4839 lands back down safely once ceasing vocalizations. D-4839 reported noticing what appeared to be a non-distinct figure standing in the testing chamber. The figure was not spotted again after initial observation. The final test. Number 31, D-Class, same. D-Class was instructed to remain still while wearing SCP-4443 and to report any visual abnormalities. After several minutes, D-4839 reported seeing several humanoid figures in different locations throughout the chamber. Figures are described as resembling humans of various ages and dressed in sheets identical to SCP-4443. Most instances appear to be children, while several were adults. The D-Class confirms one of the figures to be wearing an orange jumpsuit underneath its sheet. Entities are described as walking or floating around the chamber, before several stop in front of D-4839 and begin staring at them. Well, that's spooky. Ghosts staring at them. Embarrassing. The D-Class becomes greatly agitated and attempts to escape the testing chamber through the wall using SCP-4443. D-4839 phases through the wall of the testing chamber. Only SCP-4443 emerges from the other side. The whereabouts of D-4839 are currently unknown. So, this ghost apparently does not... costume comes with a steep cost. Why didn't it eat Craig, though? Well, I guess it did eat Craig. Also, what you have here is a ghost costume that allows you to levitate and walk through walls, but it will eventually consume you wholesale, and you join its pantheon of captured souls. So this is a ghost costume as sold by the devil. Or, just as plausibly, some asshole wizard. Interesting. We're up to 8 likes, 14 viewers, 13 likes, and this shows a success. If it isn't, I will do what I always do in such a situation. Carry on. Once again, we are raffling off a game. It is this game. It's also spooky. And it's either dealing with some sort of hellscape or possibly some mad science. I think it has potential. Presently, Nexus Hunter is the running, but competitors are welcome. The winner is determined by... well, raffle. Basically, I'll just roll numbers, like a rare loot drop. Some MMO. Highest number wins out of 100. $10 likes, 3 more, and this becomes a success. Just consideration. Ostensibly, a wide number of likes would cause us to be promoted by YouTube, but YouTube absolutely despises me, so that's not going to happen. The record for likes is largely just something that makes me feel good inside. When it gets up to 13 or higher. It's sheer vanity. If anyone else would like to join that raffle, let me know in chat. Ideally by tagging me. It's, very simple. Some of the Shining for the prologue? Maybe. I don't remember any scene in The Shining where someone wakes up in a bathtub, though. We're up to 100 likes, 2 more likes, and this becomes a success. In the meantime, we have the next SP as requested by Marcin Johansson to address. And that is, where is it? I wrote it down, but I thought, yeah, there we go, 798. Let's get to it. We seemingly have the time. And, if I can link this one, well, if I can link this one, I might easily manage another one afterwards. But first, let's go to 798. I could just type in the link this time as well, but nah. Oh, I approve. Greetings! You're wrong. I'm glad you were able to make it to the show. I didn't actually notice the eye cut out. Weird. Okay, Cortex Rat. This, I believe, is a repeat, but that's fine. I've stopped caring. Item SCP-1728. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1728 is currently housed in an 80 cm by 60 cm cage on a wooden table. No personnel should approach SCP-1728 alone. SCP-1728's cage is to be kept secure within a low-level cell. If it requires a cage, it's not safe. It's Euclid. Description. SCP-1728 resembles a healthy adult grey/beige rat. However, it has been seen to engage in behaviors usually associated with corvids or higher mammals, such as self-awareness, problem-solving, and the limited use of tools, suggesting heightened intelligence. SCP-1728's dietary requirements, sleep patterns, and metabolism are normal for Rattus norvegicus. Same species you are, if I'm not mistaken. Although, as a fancy rat, I'm not sure if that's strictly correct. Any case. And blood tests confirm that it belongs to this species. SCP-1728 possesses the ability to influence other animals for distance and even control them if allowed to establish physical contact. The subject's abilities have proven to be far less effective on cetaceans, corvids, and primates. Subject appears incapable of establishing physical link with such creatures. Recent tests formerly implied that SCP-1728 appears to be completely incapable of influencing members of its own species. Recent tests imply that SCP-1728 demonstrates different behaviors when interacting with members of its own species. So, being here might have a better time of it. Addendum. X-rays, CRT scans, and expunged indicate that SCP-1728 is a normal rat, and no heightened electrical, chemical, or neurological activity has ever been observed in SCP-1728 or in any of its targets. Log 7981. Request access to incident report redacted for further information. Log 7982. Researchers, Agents Binkles and Crump. Procedure. Routine observation of SCP-1728. Details. SCP-1728 preened itself, rearranged its bedding, and began eating. Partway through its meal, it stopped and began staring intently at Agent Crump. Agent Binkles slowly got up and reached towards the cage, announcing his intent to let the little guy run around a bit. Agent Crump stopped him by grabbing his arms and addressing him directly. Addendum 79821. Agent Binkles' experiences imply that SCP-1728 can assert psychological effect on those in close proximity to it. Or alternatively, Agent Binkles is an idiot. Repeats of the experiment indicate that this effect is easily overcome through application of willpower and or the subject's awareness they're being manipulated. Mostly, SCP-798's subconscious broadcasts are requests for freedom or more food, although it has proven capable of making researchers feel intense guilt during procedures such as shock therapy or blood sampling. Okay, that last one, I would like to note that that's not unique to this rat. Look, those of you who are aware of both my formerly Twitter account, now X account, and the formerly unexplained images of rats will surely know that even typical rats can make you feel intense guilt for certain things like baths. There's video evidence. I've documented it quite thoroughly. They don't have to be a Cortex rat to pull that one off. Meanwhile, my knee is, well, fine. Same as it ever was, really. Never fully recovered from the pratfall of 2020. But we don't need to dwell on that. And other people are much worse off. So, I don't like to complain. Moving on. Researchers, Agents Binkles and Crump. Procedure SCP-1728 is left alone with a house cat belonging to Agent Crump. The cat immediately jumped up onto SCP-1728's table and began to nudge the cage off, where it struck the ground, dislodging the holding pin. Since SCP-1728 had been released, the cat prostrated itself and allowed SCP-1728 to data expunged. Well, that's disturbing. If it's been expunged, it's surely horrifying. I'm guessing the Cortex rat climbed up its ass and tried to use it as a cat costume to escape. Look, the data's expunged, we can make it whatever we damn well like. We have 13 likes according to Space 100, and I would not question that, so thank you. Thank you all. This is now a great success. This is as close as any of you are ever going to get to feet pics, so enjoy. This had only happened upon hitting 13 likes. I hope you're happy with yourselves. But this does make the stream a success, and I'm certainly happy with myself. You will not find these slippers anywhere else in existence. They are bespoke. One of my own creations. Doubting. I mean feet. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Log 7984, researchers Dr. Cribblesmith and Agent Crump. Procedure SCP-1728 and 3 canine subjects D1, D2, and D3 were released into a 4 meter by 4 meter cell by means of a remote operated lock on their cages. Dogs were previously liberated from laboratory duty at a pharmaceutical corporation, ages and breed indeterminate, but assumed to be between 4 and 10 years. Details: dogs immediately moved towards SCP-1728, and once the doors were no longer obstructing their view, D3 was the first to reach the primary test subject and allowed SCP-1728 to latch onto the back of its head. In obvious distress, it barked at the other subjects, and they responded in kind, showcasing typical territorial behavior that soon escalated into a three-way fight. D3 was victorious, killing D1 and D2, despite being the smallest of the trio, and despite receiving severe wounds to the jugular. Afterwards, the surviving dog walked over to the cage and lay down. SCP-1728 returned to its bed, cleaned itself of blood, and then went to sleep. D3 did not get back up and was found to have suffered a fatal aneurysm. So, this Cortex rat is a colossal dick on top of everything else. What socks make the best socks, in your opinion? The correct socks for the occasion, of course. If the weather is cold, then warm, thick socks. If the weather is hot, then the thinnest socks available. If it's a formal dress occasion, you will want a thin black sock. If it's a party, they can be any color you like. There's no such thing as a perfect sock, only perfect socks. Moving on. Greetings in chat to Lippy. We have a game we're raffling off. If you weren't aware of it, you could either go back to it, or I'll play the trailer one more time before I raffle it off. Moving on. Researchers Dr. Cribblesmith and Agent Crump. Procedure: SCP-1728 and another specimen of Rattus norvicus, R1, were placed in an 80 cm by 60 cm cage separated by a transparent plastic divider. When the divider was moved, R1 immediately attacked SCP-1728. Both researchers reported a sudden feeling of acute discomfort. Quote from Agent Crump: "It was like I was suffocating. It was like having a migraine, while something shoves itself down your throat and floods your guts with hot water. Never felt anything like it." On instruction by Dr. Cribblesmith, Agent Crump reached into the cage, deftly separating the two animals, and replaced the divider. SCP-1728 suffered various bite wounds, whereas the other rat appeared to have avoided harm. Addendum 798-51. It appears that 798 may be incapable of influencing other rats, instead inspiring a primal murderous rage in them by its mere presence. Addendum SCP-1728 5.2. An hour after the procedure 7985, the personnel guard duty reported that R1 began vocalizing a distressed squeal. SCP-798 was standing behind the border, staring intently at the rat. R1 began to bleed from the mouth and defecate all over its half the cage, culminating in a brief but very severe seizure. It was found to have died from a myocardial infarction. Well, look at that. The Cortex rat gave it a vaccine. I probably shouldn't have gone there, but it's too late. Yep, it's alright. There's a very good sock, guy name. But it's not the perfect sock. There's no such thing as a perfect sock. But there are some exceptional socks. It's entirely possible that even that sock would tire you. Get bored with it. Thus, it cannot possibly be perfect. One more time. We're raffling off this game. If you want it, please let me know. It's very straightforward, point and click. The protagonist may or may not be dead. You have flesh horrors wandering about. Wacky, great fun times. I'll take a look for it. I haven't played it myself. But if nothing is as it seems, and if it seems like she's alive, then maybe... I mean, that thing she's fighting... sort of alive. Any other entries to the raffle for this game? Take on plush horrors with a nail gun. Okay, not point and click. I stand corrected. Closer to Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Agreed. Okay, well then. No other entries in the raffle. This is going to be a very short raffle, which we will probably do next, as it happens. Reason being, as we have just under 15 minutes, 14 minutes or so, which in turn means that we have maybe one more time for one more SCP, which has been called dibs on by Exodus, who requested 953. So that's what we'll go to next, after we determine who wins the game. Well, let's see. The number for Nexus is 10. If absolutely anyone else joined this raffle, Nexus Hunter would be in trouble. But no one else has. No one else has. So, congratulations, Nexus Hunter. You have just won Tormented Souls. Mind you, the odds are low enough. If I roll twice, I could probably still win. I mean, no, that's not good behavior. Besides, I don't need any more games. I don't have time. I have so many games in my game library that I haven't finished, or in some cases haven't even started. And that's just shameful. Just shameful. Okay. Yes. Oh. That's kind of circumventing things. I'm not comfortable with it. Thank you for the offer, though, Exodus. Well, they can be upgraded. Some games be quite accurately rated. I don't need to add any more games to my library. If I get through at least one playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, just one, then maybe I'll consider it. But that's a ways off yet. In any case, SCP, what was it? 953. Coming up. And I do hope it's Yes, this is the intolerances. I'm not seeing a terrible, lengthy, alarming red link. We're fine. See, you say that, Exus, and that's a very nice offer. I could see perhaps doing some sort of group playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. However, that's right out right now, because in order to do that, that would be starting another playthrough. And I am not starting another playthrough. Not until one of the previous are completed. Item SCP-953 Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-953 is to be kept in a Type 4 containment cell, 4 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters, at the end of hallway 99 at Site 17. Subject is provided the following: 1.5 kilograms of fresh liver daily for consumption, clean drinking water in plentiful quantities, clean bedding, futon, and blankets to be exchanged by the subject and laundered weekly. Small luxury items, plum wine, reading materials, etc. may be provided as an occasional reward for good behavior as part of psychological conditioning. Direct human contact with SCP-953 is strictly forbidden due to SCP-953's mind-altering properties. For this reason, all personnel must respect a 100-meter safe zone when the hermetically sealed doors opened. Delivery of food and other items will be carried out by an automated robot assistant. Should containment fail, SCP-953 can be theoretically terminated by gunfire. However, due to its nature, recognizing SCP-953 may be difficult. Because of the inadequacy of purely physical containment procedures to control SCP-953, psychological containment is also necessary. For this reason, the approach to SCP-953's containment chamber is to be lined with open cage dog kennels, preferably the Korean Jindo or American Foxhound breed. SCP-953 displays extreme phobia of domesticated canines and will not pass within 10 meters of one, especially when canines are barking or alerted. SCP-953 is considered hostile to human life, dangerous, and armed at all times. Any transport must be done under supervision. At least 6 armed personnel. Its preferred killing method is a barehanded strike to the abdomen, penetrating the abdominal cavity and removing the liver, which it will later consume. If given time, however, it will choose to linger over its kill, torturing its victim, as it seems to enjoy the infliction of pain upon another sentient being. Description: SCP-953 is a female red fox, Vulpes vulpes, approximately 8 kilograms in weight, with a spine that splits around the 26th vertebrae into 9 separate tails. Subject displays polymorphic properties, however, allowing it to take the form of various other objects and beings, most commonly an attractive Korean female. We have a footnote here, and we have read this before. This is the kitsune. Unlike SCP-1540, SCP-953 appears to retain some control over its polymorphic capabilities. Subject will display some vulpine aspects: ears, tail, paws, eyes, fur, voice, manners. In all of its alternate forms, this can serve to identify the subject should attempt disguise, although SCP-953 will attempt to conceal its tails through clothing and other methods. In addition to polymorphic abilities, SCP-953 displays a moderate level of psionic ability, namely suggestion and telepathy, although insufficient to fool an outside observer. An entranced subject can be convinced of a variety of false facts, including the nature of SCP-953, its own nature, and the nature of things around it. SCP-953 has used this in the past to, among other things, deceive police officers investigating acts of necrophilia, reports filed screaming from a hotel room, convince a mother to roast and eat her own child, carry out acts of necrophilia upon Agent Ramsey's fiancée in full view of said agent, and succeed in the systematic murder of 27 attendees of YIFCON 2021. I'm pretty sure that's a new one. A new change. Last time I read that, I don't remember YIFCON slaughter. Of course, considering the track record of YIFCONs, would there even be 27 attendees? I remember something about a ball pit. In any case. That is a funny touch. Addendum 1, Prior History. SCP-953 has been encountered by the SCP Foundation and its predecessors numerous times, with the first encounter having taken place in Busan, Korea, shortly after the Second World War. To date, SCP-953 has escaped and been recovered 6 times, resulting in the death of about 6 or so SP agents during various incidents, which is a pretty low death count overall. After its latest escape, SCP-953 was not heard of from over, 130 years, until suddenly resurfacing. It couldn't possibly be that. 20 years. Until suddenly resurfacing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on June Who Cares at YIFCon 2021, which it had been intending in the guise of a furry enthusiast. Before being captured, SCP-953 carried over 24 murders of convention staff and attendees, more than during any other single incident to date. The mutilated bodies were found in various places throughout the hotel, including inside a mattress, hanging from a shower curtain, and served as the main course at a hotel banquet. Surviving attendees were administered Class A amnesiacs and released from Foundation custody. Foundation personnel assigned to capture SCP-953 after this late incident noted that the subject appeared listless and apathetic, and did not resist capture. No further casualties have resulted from SCP-953 from that date. I guess 953 decided it had already gone as well as it possibly hoped for. Oh, thousands of attendees at YIFCon 2021. And it only killed 27 of them? Really? I'm thinking it would have easily gotten a much higher body count. I mean, I kind of get the impression they offered themselves up. Maybe its mistake was appearing as a Korean female. Addendum 2 Special Emergency Order. As misidentification of her species tends to violently agitate SCP-953, all personnel are hereby ordered to refer to her as a kumiho, and not a kitsune, my mistake. Personnel asking what the difference is are to be reminded of the difference between a Cherokee Indian and a New Delhi Indian. Signed 05 Who Cares. To which I really don't think anyone cares that much about the kitsune, because quite frankly, if the staff is that close to the kitsune as to offend them with this misunderstanding, they're probably already dead. Addendum 3. Personnel Staffing Division. Following the unfortunate and completely preventable death of Agent Gallagher, any personnel found to have current or prior ties to the furry or otaku communities are to be immediately reassigned to other projects. Again, signed 05. Redacted. Addendum 4. Folklore Control Procedures. As a reminder, staff assigned to SCP-953 are to follow all instructions for interacting with the subject, no matter how odd or arbitrary they may seem. Keep in mind that the people of Asia interacted with these beings for centuries before we came into the scene. What we think of as fairy tales were the version of special containment procedures. Again, 05 redacted. Yeah, that's true. As maybe as someone heard. No, but one might note that stabbing with faint praise because this one has absolutely nothing to do with Indians of any sort. Like, she was actually stupid enough to take a DNA test to objectively prove it. And then just tried to argue that at 0.0000001%, that's kind of similar, totally qualified her. We have an interview with 953, interview A, interview with capture team following capture of SCP-953 in the wild in 19 redacted. We surely do not have time for this, especially if I have to do both voices. It's a separate page. If it's a separate page as opposed to expanding, I can veto it. And I'm going to, because there are 3 minutes remaining, and I don't want to. We had other requests for SCPs. Please, if I didn't get to read an SCP that you wanted me to read in this moment, well, remember it. I'll be back next Thursday to do it all over again. And then I'll be back on the Thursday after that, and after that, and the one after that. And I will keep on going until I'm banned from YouTube, or move the show to Rumble, maybe. And this is the last one on YouTube, really. I just don't want this channel itself to die. A lot of good memories here. A lot of really horrible memories too, but a lot of good memories, and I try to lean towards the positive. Speaking of Rumble and other shows, tomorrow will be the next solitary refinement show on Rumble. If you aren't sure when that is, well then, you should probably watch my account on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, or the general channel of my Arketer Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server. Because I'll make clue there. But I'll start at the same time on Rumble, and it will run up to 3 hours, depending on how generous my patrons feel. But at least now is guaranteed. And something else, if you are inclined to watch the SRS tomorrow, I'm doing something a bit different. For you see, it is spooky month. Halloween is close. I'm thinking, much like Christmas, I'm going to invite everyone to make requests of songs, provided they are spooky or directly Halloween related. Everyone gets at least one. You might recall last SRS, everyone was requesting songs anyway. That was only because the patron threw up requests to everyone. That's a thank you to Kaz, for those of you who are taking part in that. I'm sure you already know. This time, though, it's my call. Everyone will be able to request one spooky or Halloween song as they like. We can share our favorites in this fashion. That should be fun. Let's see. Other than that, I have the article wait on Sunday. That should be nice. We'll address how the world's going insane on a media platform service that will not immediately kick me off for violating the dictated narrative of aloof elitist fuckwits, which YouTube has done in the past more than once. So another reason why that particular show is also on Rumble and not on YouTube. I hope to see you all there. Otherwise, I hope that you all have a fantastic weekend, what have you. And so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.